What's going on, Quotation Nation? QuotebyLee coming at you with part 3 of our Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Game Informer Edition / overview review type video. So this is the page we left off on last time, and we've got a couple pages to talk about and read. So if you guys are ready and whatnot, excited and everything. I'm sorry, guys. It's very early in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and get into it. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Game Informer, let's go. Okay, so the Legend of the Breath of the Wild. Outside of Breath of the Wild's open world setup, little is known about its wider story and how it connects to the larger Zelda universe. Because we wanted to redefine the whole process, I didn't want to be chained up by the idea that we had to think about the past titles, Onuma says. But then again, I know there are a lot of fans who are interested and who are knowledgeable in the Zelda franchise and the history. So by adding little elements here and there, we wanted to give the fans the opportunity to say, oh, I saw this. Maybe this is how it expands the story, or give little hints here and there. Link can find dilapidated Temple of Time in the game's opening moments, and Onuma confirms the game takes place after Ocarina of Time. Additional direct ties are difficult to identify. So we talked about this a little bit. We're not going to go too in depth. I think that it will be in the Downfall time period. Let me know what you guys think, which time period this is going to take place in, if it's going to take place in the child timeline, the adult timeline, or the Downfall. I'm betting on the Downfall because I feel like after being defeated, he has to sleep for 100 years and rest up and stuff. But that's just me. I don't know. The trailer shown during the Switch reveal shows myriad characters, hints at a talking tree, and spends plenty of time highlighting Zelda, who erupts into tears in one scene. I don't want to get too deep into it, but I do want you to know that Zelda does have a lot of emotions and expressions. And for the trailer, we chose one that was very extreme, Onuma says. Once you start playing Breath of the Wild, I want you to explore and see these different sides of Zelda, different emotions that she evokes. This is a little bit of a secret, but Zelda will actually get mad at you in Breath of the Wild. She will scold you. So that's something I think that's just such a fresh take on Zelda. I'm really excited to play this game, guys. I think it's got a lot to offer, I think, for fans and newcomers alike. When asked if Zelda will scold every player, Onuma says the open nature of the world extends to the narrative, and it is possible for players to see the ending without seeing all the story has to offer. I can't guarantee every player will see it, he says, especially if they are heading toward the goal a little too quickly. Then they may miss these things, like Zelda getting mad at you. But if you walk around in the world, and if you encounter different environments and elements, then these are things you will probably experience. And I think that's something that's great, you know. They've talked about how this world is really up to you to explore, and how you don't even have to go to every single dungeon. You could go straight to Calamity Ganon if you wanted to, but you wouldn't have the equipment to be able to defeat him. And I think that's a very interesting thing, that you know, players can play the game and not explore the entirety and still beat the game. But there's all these little things that, you know, as a player like me, I like to find everything possible. And this is a game that I'm going to be exploring for days and days and hours upon hours. Crafting a story in this style created a new challenge for Onuma, but he offered an interesting tease for how he sees it playing out. In order to create more of a cohesive storyline, we added this element in there that will make it a little bit more streamlined for every player. This is something I can't reveal right now, but when you play, you will find out, he says. This idea that I am talking about is actually something I came up with when I first started developing the games. I have been harvesting this idea for 20 plus years. So that's really interesting. Oh man, I wonder what he's talking about there. Some kind of idea that he's had since the beginning of Zelda almost. That's really cool. So this is a little comparison, Wii U versus the Switch. And this is actually something I was very interested to read about. So the Switch version of Breath of the Wild is the superior version of the game with a higher resolution in TV mode, faster loading, and improved audio. But Onuma doesn't want to call the Wii U version a downgrade. I definitely don't want to do that, but there is a difference in specs between the two games. Onuma says, loading speed, loading speed is a little different, the resolution is different, and the sound quality is a little bit different when it is played on the TV mode on the Nintendo Switch. The game experience, however, is identical and the frame rate is the same. The Wii U version of the game also requires an install, as it is played off a disc, where the Switch version of the game does not, since it is played off of a cartridge. Despite the improvement the Switch offers, Onuma never considered canceling Wii U version of the game. In fact, moving to the Switch allowed the team to tweak the game in important ways on both platforms. Asking the staff to change it was difficult for me, Onuma says. I actually went back and created a proposal for my staff that said, hey, if you do this, then maybe you can fix this area. And I had to make the proposal to the staff and beg them to do it. Those changes are gameplay related, so they are reflected on both platforms. So that is really cool. So the Switch is the superior console, but with the Wii U, you still are going to get the same frame rate. It's just going to drop a little bit in quality and a little bit in the sound department. So overall, it's still going to be pretty solid on the Wii U. I was thinking of getting it for the Wii U, but then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be getting it for the Switch. Like, I'm getting a Switch, and there's no point to buy a Switch and get Legend of Zelda if I had it on Wii U and vice versa. Like, I want the Switch. That's what I want. I don't really want to have a copy of it for the Wii U. But I think that's pretty cool. A little bit of in-depth look over the differences. I think we are very close to the end here. This is actually going to be probably one of our shorter videos for this. We just didn't want to make the last video too long. So this scene, we'll go through all these pictures here in a sec. But this is the Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a massive game, under development for more than 4 years. Onuma says it's also been the most difficult of all the Zelda games to make. The scope of this adventure is so big that even Onuma is still finding new things in the world. Right before we completed the game, I actually started from scratch with a new game, Onuma says. I was trying to explore areas I remembered from my memory. But I kept finding these new elements, and I realized how huge a world I had actually created. That was right before we had finished the game, so you could tell I was surprised. So that's really cool that it's so big, even the game director is surprised at the stuff that he's seen. Despite playing for nearly 3 hours, our time with the game felt far too brief. Breath of the Wild is undeniably a Zelda game, but it represents a surprising willingness for Link's creators to re-examine the series' hugely successful structure and mechanics and rethink them in radical ways. We've explored interactive open worlds before, but our time with Breath of the Wild showcased a Zelda that feels new and an experience that is polished in a way few outside of Nintendo are able to achieve. So, let's take a look at a couple of these pictures. Is that a Guardian? That's Zelda taking down a Guardian. Oh man. And then this is Kyle the horse. Okay. So this is the horse they talked about earlier. And you can take the horse from the stable, and you can see his strength, his speed, his stamina, and he's got he's wild temperament. So he's not completely trained, I'm guessing. He has a pretty good bond though. So that's pretty cool. Then this looks like the map with all the different symbols that you can mark stuff with. So yeah, the sword, the bow, the shield, the pot, the star, the chest, the skull, the leaf, and the rupee. Is that supposed to be a rupee? I can't tell. And then you have these other homing beacons. I wonder, are these like, can you like use these to make the color of something different? Like, can I make a blue sword or something like that? I don't know. But that's pretty cool. You can see the map and place these so that if there's like a dungeon or a chest you can't get yet, you can mark it and then come back to it later. So that's a very cool feature. We got Link Settling down next to some camp. That looks like a guardian in the back as well, unless it's a shrine. But these people just set up camp right here. He's gonna go ahead and cook with them. That's cool. This is inside one of the dungeons, and he talked about this earlier using the new magnetic tool. You know, you got to move these balls around to complete this little shrine. So that's really cool. I'm actually really excited for this item. I think there's going to be a lot of possibilities with it. We've seen in a lot of different videos, you know, picking up logs or rocks or something, dropping them on bokoblins, and I think it's going to be really, really interesting item. And I want to see how well it works with the controls. This looks like a giant boss guardian. I don't even know what this thing is. This thing looks absolutely cool. You can see the laser eye thing. That's probably going to be the weak spot. You're probably going to have to shoot arrows or bomb arrows or something to knock him down and maybe hit him with your sword. I think that's a really, really cool bad guy. I love the design. He's got like this big weird sword type thing, and then you can see this evil hand. It looks so cool. And the last page we have here is inside the other dungeon that had the dark blight or the Ganon blight that he talked about. So I'm wondering if this was the Wind Guardian or the Wind Ganon Guardian type thing that they had mentioned earlier. I really wish that it had captions. You can see these look like those floating skulls that we've seen in many different games. This would be one of those skeletons that you have to knock down and attack the head to destroy. But I think this is one of those floating skeleton heads covered in a black fire type of thing. And we see this eye. We were told earlier that this was the main point of all the darkness. So you got to destroy this, and it'll get rid of the darkness around. And this darkness actually hurts you when you step on it. So that's really, really cool. I love this picture. You get a whole lot from this picture. You get to see a couple new bad guys. You get to see some weapons. Looks like he has I can't tell if that's an axe or like a spear on his back. See him using his bow. I don't know. I really, really like this picture. I think it's really cool. Let's continue. Oh, okay, so this
all month long
is a video
on GameInformer.com.
We have a ton of new info about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
We explored the open world, we played through a dungeon and fought its boss, we fought a guardian, and we're excited to tell you a lot more about it.
We interviewed Enuma, we interviewed Miyamoto, we did a lot of stupid stuff and a lot of serious stuff.
I promise you will learn some things about Breath of the Wild.
I explored Hyrule for hours.
He died a lot.
So if you're a Nintendo fan, if you're a Zelda fan, you should definitely stay tuned to Game Informer's hub of exclusive content
For a revealing look at Zelda's past, Breath of the Wild, and much more.
Yes. Let me know if you guys want me to cover this information as well. We could go to the Game Informer website and actually take a look at a couple of these interviews. But I believe that is actually going to wrap things up. So that is going to wrap things up for the...
All month long on Game...
No, pause. That is going to wrap things up for the final video of The Legend of Zelda. I guess we could have probably fit it in at the end of the last episode, but I didn't want to make it too long. This was really, really cool. I love reading this. I want to do this more in the future with some games. So hopefully you guys enjoy these series, and I'm really just trying to get the information out to you guys, start a discussion. Let me know what you guys think, what your favorite part of this is. If you're excited for the game, if you're going to be getting it on the Wii U or on the Nintendo Switch. I would suggest getting it on the Switch. I'm not going to be able to get it until later on, which is very unfortunate. Comes out this Friday. 2 days, guys. 2 more days, and it's coming out. There's going to be videos everywhere. Hopefully, by the time I get it, you're not sick of all these videos, and you guys will come back to my channel, and you'll check out us playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But yeah, that's gonna pretty much end things. Thank you so much for watching. Let's go back to some of those pictures. I really liked this one. That one's cool. I really liked this picture though. Really enjoyed it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Again, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. We're so close. We've been so close for so long. We just would love some help. Go ahead, share this video with your friends. If you haven't checked out part 1 or part 2, go ahead, check that out. There's tons of information there. and let me know what you think of those videos as well. But I'm gonna get the heck out of here, guys. As always, if you're not hydrating, you're dehydrating. Quote by Lee.
When you're thinking, damn, what is this? That's us. Make a speakers band when it hits like what? Give it summer jams with that west side stuff. Everybody hands in the air straight up. Put them to the sky so high, now jump. Jay is something crazy when that bass line bump. We just getting started, but that beat gon' cut. We just wanna party so tonight, so what? Come on everybody, put the drink down, bounce. Pull up with the hottie.